Hi everyone. In the previous session 4, we have seen the implementation of student page, admin page and the faculty page with the features of like adding the galleries of images and how to create the multiple forms in the same page, and then we have created index page where we will provide an option for to login. Now in this session I will add various important points which are meant for to improve the look and feel of the website. Okay, fine. So what that I am going to explain here is I would like to add the logo and title to the web pages, and I would like to go for all these things in one by one order so that our web page will having more look and feel, and also it will be uh, more good to see. Okay, first I would like to add the logo, right? If you would like to add the logo, we have to use the link tag. Yes, you can observe that. So all the data which is related to head section, I have maintained in a page called h.php. Here I need to add the link tag in order to add the logo. Link tag. So actually link tag is basically for the purpose of adding the style sheets, external style sheets. I would like to add the icons. So I am going to define relation as icon and the type as image, and href the location of the logo dot, so it is logo.jpg. You can observe here. Yes, and I will add the title md make digitize. So let me go for adding this name. Yes. I have added title. Yes, first we'll check. Yes, if I refresh it, it will get. So because of internet slow here, actually we added the footer counter. So to load this, it is taking some time. Yes, it has loaded. You can observe here the title is added and the logo is added. So as I modified it in this particular location, every page it has updated because it is a common thing we are going to add at every page wherever it is necessary. So once I added the title and the logo, I can able to improve it the language also by using lang equal to English. And if you want, you can able to add the direction attribute, direction equal to from which direction we are trying to work, that is from left to right. Okay, and I would like to perform the adding of various kind of SEO features like I need to add the author, keywords and description. So what I will do is uh, so all these features we can able to do with help of meta tags. Meta, so char set equal to, it is already there. So I would like to add the description of the site. So I will use the value as description, and I would like to define the content. Content is make digitize hyphen, I would define something like developer. That's some information. So which you know that what is the use of description value when we are using the meta tag. So if you want, you can go to the HTML videos. Okay, next we'll add one more tag of meta tag. Meta name equal to keywords. Keywords means these are meant for uh, the Google search engine or any kind of search engine. So it is going, these keywords are going to be registered in the databases. Whenever you searches for the corresponding keyword, it will automatically prompt our website. So you have to make sure that you have to give some particular keywords which are matched with your website. So I am trying to take it as uh, make digitize, make digitize. I am going to give something name as my name and something as file download, file download, file upload, file upload, view rgukt images. So like that you can able to give your own meaningful keywords. It should be related to your website so that your website will be more popular. And I would like to add the author also. That is important, right? So I would like to define the name as author, and the content is g so on so name who has developed this website. Okay, so these are actually won't display to you, but these are necessary for you for the performance of search engine optimization. Okay, so I think we completed the SEO part. So if you want to add, you can able to add the Facebook links, all those things. Okay, so that's all up to you. Next, I will go through the navigation bar links aligned to the right. Guys, if you observe here, all this navigation part are appended to the left side. Are appended to the left side. I would like to align these to the right side part so that it will be yield some more look and feel. Yes. So where the navigation bar is there, we have added a page called mm, navbar.php. Observe navbar.php. Here we did something like we need to add one closing tag, and I can remove the end of the division tag so that this will be free to move. Observe, yes, this is the way you can able to. Now if you go for anything, that will now it's look good. Okay, fine. Next, I would like to make index page footer. So if you take index page, that is m index page. So I will close the navbar.php. I will open mindex.php. mindex.php. In mindex.php, I need to provide the navigation bar. How we are going to provide the navigation bar? By footer part, by include f.php. f.php. And one more important, guys, here at the end I have added one point: update page names with m, meaning that whatever the page that I am trying to work, all those pages should start with m. That's my rule. So that's why what I will do is I will make here as mh.php. I'll make navbar as mnavbar.php. I'll make f.php as m.php, mf.php. So what I will do is I will right click this one and I will try to remove it as mf.php. Okay. Similarly for h.php also, I'll try to make it as mh.php. Similarly, is there anything is there? So navbar is there, mnavbar.php. So I made some convention, that's it, mnavbar.php. Now it is your turn to modify all the pages wherever you have used these pages. Okay, in mindex.php we didn't use it anywhere, so that's why I just close this one. If you go for mh.php, I think we didn't use any pages which are related to that. That's why I'm going to close this also. Okay, so in the index footer, observe, if I go for mindex.php, I think the footer is added. Yes, right? Yes. We complete that. Next, I need to remove the remember me option in the registration page. So if you take the registration page, okay, so you can observe, guys, these are the errors that we can occur right now. So because in mregistration.php, I am trying to include various kind of pages. So let me go for mregistration.php. Okay, here we are trying to include mh.php, mnavbar.php, and at the end, if it is required, we need to add mf.php. Okay, fine. So what we need to do is, so in the registration form, we no need to require to add the remember me option. That's why we'll remove the remember me option from here. And the next point is we made that placeholder to phone number. See, we mentioned the phone number part here, but this phone number part we are using for the purpose of when the user forget the password, we are trying to use it for this one. So we can mention that placeholder used for forget password, used for forget password. So that is meant for the purpose of user understandability. If I refresh it, now you can observe, guys. So I think the header part and the footer part are working, and also you can observe the placeholder is they can able to understand now, used for forget password. Because we need to make it compulsory to define to the user that what we are going to do for their data. So that's why we need to define. Yes. Okay. So placeholder added. Next, login forget ml home md password adjustment of styles. Guys, if you observe here, if I go for Registration page is look and feel is good, but if you go for login page, obviously you will get certain errors. Yes. So where is login page? mlogin.php. mlogin.php. In mlogin.php, guys, try to observe this code is already available in some location, so it is, I think, redundant. So I will simply remove this. I will simply add include what I need to include mh.php, because I need to add the header part. Similarly, I need to add the navbar, that is mnavbar.php. Similarly, at the footer part, you have to add mfooter.php. That's it. This is good, right? Yes. The thing is here, the bottom alignment, some white background is getting, and also this not registered at left side padding is not there, and there is there need to be some gap between this border footer yellow color to the some white color, and else part everything is clean. Okay, fine. Um, okay, so what we need to do is we need to make some adjustment. So what we can do is we can make the minimum width as this white division to some 450 pixel. That will yield good. See, in the mlogin.php, I will take some division. And I will define the style as minimum height as 450 pixel, so that our division is going to occupy that much amount of space for each and every data. Now you can observe it looks good. So it is common. So the body part is common for all pages. So I have defined the body part for all pages as minimum 450 pixel. So that's why now it look good. See, if you go for registration page, that same thing, you will get the same thing. Okay, but minimum is 450 pixel, and I need to make some kind of modifications. You can observe here. If you observe, this data is completely aligned to the left side part. So what I can do is I will make it in some division. Make it in some division. Some division. I will make its alignment to margin left part. Some 10 pixel. Observe that now it got something good. Okay, fine. So this is okay for m login. What about m forgot page? If you go for m forgot page, so here also the code is redundant. So what I will do, I will simply remove this entire part. I will simply add include mh.php. Okay, and then is there anywhere? Yes, we need to add as mnavbar.php, and then here also we need to make it as mf.php, and then here I need to set the division style equal to we need to set the minimum width, minimum height as 450 pixel, so that it will look good. That's it. We are not expecting anything. Okay, and I can go for here at the end as division, but these two should be aligned to some margin left as something, right? So that is the reason I'm going to take style as margin left as 10 pixel, and I am going to make it as, if I go for m forget.page, I mean if you go for forget page, yes, observe now it's look good, right? Both look good. Yes. Now the thing is, if I log in, observe, I think we completed login and forget page, and if we log in, that page is called as mlhome.php and mdpassword.php. So for that also I need to define some styles. If I go for some username n180541, some password is there. If I click on login, it is going to provide certain errors that you know. So if I go for mlhome.php, everywhere I need to define as mh.php, mnavbar.php, Database also I will define it as mdb.php. I will try to modify it. mdb.php. So it was updated here. So wherever it is using SQL databases, there I am going to use mdb.php. This is a set of code that you can understood, which we have written later already. mf.php and mlogin.php. That's it. mlogin.php. The thing is, if I refresh it, what will happen? It is going to provide certain error that you know. That is s already login.php. So in s already login.php also, what I will do is I will try to make it rename. That is mlogin.php. mlogin.php. And in s already login.php, where you will get that? I will get successfully log out. Okay. So here you can get, if the login count value as 1, I am going to redirect it to m already login.php. That's okay, fine for me. So it is going to get like that. Okay. So I will try to remove that count because we didn't log out. So it will provide an error once again. Now I'm trying to log in n180.541. I'm going to give some password. Login. Yes, observe guys. Now it is showing that welcome Mr. Mr. So and so, and this is logout. What I will do is basically whenever we are trying to make some welcome message, that should be aligned to the right side part. That yields some look. That yields some look for me. And also I will align this logout button to the right side part so that that will be good. So what I will do is, so wherever that code is rated, I would like to modify. Hmm. Uh, so this is margin top as 100 pixel. Guys, to make it responsive, I will use the percentages. So from margin top, I need to make it 4%, 4%, and welcome Mr. or Misters. That's okay. I would like to give some space between the date that prefixes. I will take NBSP. So you know that non-breakable spaces, NBSP. You can go with various kind of options are there. I will go with NBSPs, and I would like to provide the color of the uh, displaying name. I would like to define font color equal to. I will make it as blue. Make it as blue, and then I am going to close my font type. Close my font type. Okay, fine. So with this we can adjust this welcome Mr. So-and-so to this location with this particular uh, data. Now I'd like to make the logout option also. Logout option should be on the right side of the page. So whenever user clicks on logout, I need to make same adjustment, right? What is that same adjustment? That should be aligned to the right side, and uh, where it will display. This is logout page, logout button, logout button. Once a user is successfully logged in, yes, here you can observe guys, this is mlogout.php. So when the user is trying to log out from the button, if I provide, so I'm going to provide the style that should be arranged. You can give any name because there is no problem here. Okay, fine. Here there is a problem because we are trying to work with double quotations. We need to give single quotations only here. So what I will do is I will try to define the margin alignment to the left side, as, let me take as 80%. 80%. Okay, fine. Guys, we didn't made this to the right side, so we need to make this also to the margin left as 80%. 80%, meaning that, so both this welcome should be here and the logout button also should be here. So this is the code we have written. Let us check that how it is going to be work. If I click on logout, yes, successfully logged out, and I'm going to enter once again. Hmm. If I click on login, observe you are already logged in. Why, what happened? Logout functionality is not working. Okay, let us check that once again, no problem. So it is already logged in, so that's why I'm going to make it as 0. I'll uh, I'll click here to login, n1805401, and the password is so and so password. If I log in, it is going to provide certain errors. See, what are the requirement that we are getting? That requirement is satisfied. This is with welcome Mr. or Mr. so and so. So I need to get some kind of here break spaces, but it is getting some double quotations. And on line number 45, you are going to get NBSP. So I think this is not. So we are familiar with PHP. That's why I'm getting as dollar symbol. So this is dollar NBSP. And guys, you can observe here this logout, and there should be some gap between these two. Okay, so mlogout.php, and then I would like to provide some margin left, and I would like to provide some margin bottom also. Margin bottom also some 5 pixel. So to make it something more look and feel. Yes, now if I click on logout, let us check that it is logout. But if I refresh it, will it is working or not? No, it is not working. Okay, fine. Let me come to that point. Why it is not updating, I don't know exactly. But in the previous session, I think it works. N180541, and password is Kalyan. Yes, guys, now you can observe. Yes, now it looks good. It looks good. N180541. Now if I click on logout, make sure now check that once again. Oh, it's not working. It is not working because of we modified all the pages, right? We modified all the pages. As for example, if I go for uh, where that data will be available for you, the data will be available for you mlhome.php. mlhome.php, it was connected. Once it was connected, if it is already logged in, it is going to be related to already login.php. Okay, if it is logged out, so go for mlogout.php. Here what happened? So here the problem is I need to modify, update all this. So that is the reason. So it is not connected to a database. That's why it is going to get uh, something like that. It was not updating. Okay, now if you go for this, now let us check. See, the thing is n180541, and password is so and so password. If I click on login, yes, now it's work fine. Now the thing is, I would like to make this also capital N. We are not bothering about whether it is small n or capital N. We need to make it capital N. Make it capital N. So first let me complete that. Then I will go for logout functionality once again checking. So here, how we need to display the data? Display data this $sname variable in the form of capital letters. So in PHP we have a method, that is string to upper method is there. So for that function, it is going to, if you pass the variable string to upper variable, then definitely it will be converted to uppercase. Now I will make it log out. Now observe guys, it has logged out. But what about here? The value of n180541 is 0. Yes. So because of the problem of that connection, mdb.php it has modified. Now n180541, and password is so and so password. Yes, now you can observe guys, now it's look and feel for me. Yes, fine. So that this is the way you can able to modify. Next, I need to modify in mdpassword.php. Yes. If I go for mdpassword.php, which is meant for the purpose of updation of data, updation of the password data. md password, this should be mf.php, and I need to manage, sorry, something went wrong and everything is clear, I think so. Enter valid details. I think here also you can provide this particular thing, that will be better for us, right? I will make it modify, enter valid details, enter valid details. Yes, that's good, that's good. I will make it forget page. Guys, observe, it is good. Now if I'm trying to update for N180541, I need to get the phone number of that person. uh, Students, here it is N180541, phone number is 120. So this is meant for the purpose of security aspect. And new password I would like to set as 123456. Click on reset password. Yes, this page also looks good for me, there is no problem with this. So I will simply redirect. So whenever user think that password changed successfully, then I will simply make define as some break tag, and I will define the link to that ahref equal to I will define the login page, mlogin.php. Click here. Or else you can use the navigation part also for the sake of our interest. To login, click here. That's it. Okay, this is the way you can able to change the md password.php. If I refresh it, that will be password changed successfully. To login, click here. Now you can observe that password is updated to 123456. Yes. That's it with this thing. Sixth point. Next, seventh point is also covered as N1805 at the right corner. Logout button to right hand corner as completed. Now I need to make it restrict the registration with more than one at a time. So here more than one at a time, meaning that when some particular person is trying to register for once again. See, actually up to now what our form is doing is, if I am trying to enter N180541, I'm trying to enter the name as let me try to enter some name and some password as blah blah, blah password, and some mail ID as so and so mail ID, and phone number as so I think this is what I have given some kind of restrictions. If I sign up, the student with the N180541 is already there, but our system is going to, if I click sign up, it is going to be accepted. See, in mhome.php I need to update the data first. If we go for mhome.php, okay, this is ml home. I need to go for mhome.php. I need to define mdb mh mnavbar.php, and at the end, if it is possible, we included the mf.php also. Now if I refresh it, observe, registration success. But the thing is, should we need to allow to that register the person? We should not. You should have to avoid that, because there should not be any person with the same id, right? So we have to restrict that. So for that we have to make it control from our end. So how we are going to control that? So what we are doing here, we are trying to get the data from the previous page. I'll close this page and this page and this page. So the user will enter some data in this registration page, and that data we are going to get into the mhome.php. And once the user gets the details, I am trying to execute the query of insert command. But do we need to execute this query? No. If you want to avoid duplicate. So if you want to execute this query, what you have to complete is, you have to check whether the corresponding user is already a registered user or not. So how can we check that? If he is an already registered user, with that corresponding ID, there will be some data. So what I will do is I will try to write some SQL query for you. So CSQL equal to, I will write inside double quotations. I will copy the query from there. See, this thing you can able to implement in many ways. Let me copy this code. So this is from students only. So I will just paste here. I am trying to get certain data from the students table where where what is the column name? That is, I think it is SID. SID equal to, what is the value I need to check? Dollar $SID. If I am going to get certain data with respect to this student, with respect to this SID, I should have to avoid the insertion because it is already registered user. So what I will do is I will try to execute the query by using MySQL underscore query of $con comma $CSQL. Now if I execute, it is going to return a set of a result set. So I am making it as $R. You may think that this one with match with this one, right? So that will be overridden here. So to avoid for you confusion, so or else I will take get or gr. Now what is the meaning of this one? If my $gr contains some number of rows which are greater than 0, I mean, how we are going to find out whether the number of rows are greater than 0 or not? You have a function, right? MySQL underscore number of rows. If $gr contains greater than 0 number of rows, what we can display? Echo. Simply we can say that, I will try to copy this for the purpose of displaying statement. So what you can say that you are already registered. You are already registered. Already registered user. Please go ahead and log in by click here, right? So for that, what you can do, ahref equal to mlogin dot php. Close this one. I'll make it as click here. See, that depends upon our implementation. I am writing this much data here. Okay, fine. If I am going to get the more number of rows with the corresponding ID, I can say that there is exists some already because it is a registered user. So I am going to print as you already registered user. You are already a registered user. Please go ahead and log in by using by click here. Yes. The thing is, yes, this statement is going to be executed, but I should have to avoid all the remaining rows. So what I can do is I can go for exit from this particular code by using exit function. This is what we have seen in the previous session also. Okay. Now what I will do is if I am going to click this one, obviously it is going to be redirected to mregistration.php. Now I'll check for once again n180.541 or n180.201. n180.201. 180.201 password so and so password @gmail.com and phone number is some phone number. If I click sign up, should your site should be allowed to add this data to the database? No. If I click submit, it is showing that you are already a registered user. Please go ahead and log in by click here. Yes, right? So that's good thing. It's going to be simply exit, right? It's going to simply exit and it is not going to execute all these things. So it is going to provide include dot mf dot php. That's a wide thing. I'm going to use this one here so that it will also perform that thing. Yes. Right? Yes. By simply click here, I can go for login. Now if I want to register some with a new ID n180.536, let us check whether 536 is there. No n180.536, cross checking n180.536 email id is n180536@gmail.com, and phone number is so and so phone number. If I sign up, now it needs to be allowed. Yes, registration is success. This is the way you can able to restrict the user. This is the way you can able to register the user to register for multiple times. Okay. Next thing is I would like to evaluate the validations to all the pages. All the pages. This is the hectic task for us, but that's a good thing, because if somebody is trying to access our page with invalid data, we need to avoid that. That's a good thing, because they will enter some h. This should be something like I made it as required, right? So h@gmail.com and something like j. But thing is, I think we did some kind of a basic evaluation part. If you go for script tag, I think md password, mlogout, these are not required for us. If I go for jk.js, whenever user clicks on m registration page, that will be returned to the validate function. So in the validate function, what we did is we try to access all the data. I think except email, all data we access, and we are trying to define some error message. So, but the thing is, these are general thing. That's what we did. But I require a specific thing. What are those means? So, if somebody is trying to define student ID, somebody is trying to define student ID, that should be start with either small n, or that should start with either capital N, followed by compulsory 18, and that should be followed by compulsory 4 digits. 4 digits. This is the restriction you have to follow. I mean, if I take an example, that should be N180535. I need to allow only this one. If somebody is trying to enter J180535, I have to avoid this one. This is the first thing for SID. And if I take for uh, something like name field or password field, that should have to minimum name or password should have to have minimum, if it is less than 5 characters, or if it is having more than 8 characters, I have to provide certain error. Similarly, the phone number field should have to start with either 7 or 8 or 9. That's it. Followed by 9 digits. So meaning that your mobile number should be having compulsory 10 digits. That should start with either 7 or 8 or 9. That's it. We should not allow the remaining data of digits. This is the some restrictions that you have to follow. So meaning that if I am going to give this input, I have to make it invalid, and if I am going to give this, I have to make it invalid. If I am going to give this one, that should be valid one. Let me check that. Okay, guys, if you want to make it clear understanding, you can go through the JavaScript videos. There you will get clear idea. So what I will do is, first thing is, I would like to check for SID, right? My SID should be a form of something like, it should start with n, right? So we have gone through the concept of regular expressions, where I would like to write regular expressions, where let me take regular expression variable as rsid. I would like to write between two forward slashes. Should start with the capital small n, or I have to start with capital N. Followed by you have to compulsory with 18, and followed by 4 digits. That 4 digits can be of length 4, and that have to be end there itself. That's it. This is a regular expression for to validate the educated student ID. And do we need to check for uh, length, or do we need to check for the regular expression? I need to check for the regular expression. See, where are various methods are there, test, match, like that. I would like to check with test method. Then regular expression dot test of what is the data you need to check? SID. SID you need to check. Guys, when we are trying to check this one, if it is matched, then it is going to execute this one. But what we require, if it is not matched, then I need to check this one. Check this one. Okay. So for the sake of simplicity, what I will do is, I'll try to provide something like alert button. So for the first one only, SID is valid. SID is valid. Okay, so let me try to remove all the else if cases. That will be good. hmm. Let me check that. If I am going to give the valid SID, let me try to submit. If I am going to sign up, will it going to be allowed? No, because the minimum length is something like this. And if I am going to give N1805367, it should not allow. If I click sign up, it is going to be allowed. It is going to be allowed. Now observe, I am going to refresh it. Now N1805367. Now if I am going to sign up, this is asking for some data. I am trying to enter something. Uh, mm, mm, some phone number I am trying to enter. Yes, it should be of 10 digits. Now if I click sign up, it should be allowed or not allowed? It should not allow, because it is not a valid ID number according to our requirement. So if I remove this and if I click submit button, what will happen? So for the purpose of not submitting the data, I am going to make it remove this one. If I submit sign up, you will get an alert message as valid student ID, because that is a valid one. That's a valid one. So if I refresh it, I'm going to enter N1805337, and this is, I made some mistake. So for the purpose of intention, and this thing, if I submit, you will get an error at SID is valid. Yes, this should be in there. So this is the way you can able to do that. So what I will do is, so this concept you can understood there directly. I am going to remove everything, and now I am going to write everything in a single lines. If you want clarity, you can go through the other videos. My sname dot length, if it is greater than 8 also, I should not allow. Similarly, my password is less than 5, or my password is greater than 8, I should not allow. Similarly, for regular expression, I have to avoid this regular expression, and I need to add the regular expression as it should have to contain either 7, 8 or 9, and followed with how many digits? 9 digits. So make it restriction in the form of flower branches. And so as it is a regular expression, I need to test with test or match. I will write regular expression dot test of j. Sorry, it should be, I think, s phone. S phone. Guys, I will try to check for whether my control is getting up to here. If it is controlling, your control is getting up to here, we can simply say that above all are true. Alert of yes phone is valid. Yes phone is valid. Now I'll refresh once again. 1805337 Krishna jk@gmail.com. If I am going to make intentionally starts with 09876543321, it should be an error. Observe. Oh, S1 is valid. Why it is showing S1 is valid? Because we made it as not equal here. It should be. If I click OK, that will be refreshed and that data will be updated actually. So will the data will be updated? No. Now try once again. And 1805337 and name is so and so, and some blah blah password, and jk@gmail.com, 0 followed by so and so numbers. If I sign up, that should be error, because it should start with compulsory a number that can be starts with any number as. Now if I am going to check this data, this is going to be allowed. If I observe, if I sign up, S1 is valid, meaning that all above data is valid. Now we are going to check for the control process. This is the way you can able to check for the validations of the registration page. So I think this data will be added. So for the sake of simplicity, I am removing this. And if I add the foreign key relation between these two, then the data, this data will be also be deleted. So in the database, we've seen that. Now for registration we completed, but what about the login page? We have to add that. So what I can do is I will go for mlogin.php. mlogin.php. In mlogin.php, whenever user clicks on submit button, I need to make it return validate. This is false case. I need to make it login validate. Login validate. Login validate. So this should be connected, I think so, for jk.js. Yes, it was connected to jk.js. And in jk.js, I need to call the function. Call the function. Hmm, call the function as lvalidate dot lvalidate. I'm sorry, lvalidate. In the lvalidate, what you need to get? You need to get here as, and one more thing, I would like to update one important point here. We are getting confusing because of that names what we are using here. Instead of name, we have to make it mention it as SID. That's a good thing, I think so, because that is a unique one we are expecting. So the name is s name. We need to get the s name and we need to get the s password. We need to get the s name and s password, and that thing we can able to get it from here by copying. And once the user clicks login button, I am going to get the corresponding s name, corresponding s password from the page, and I am going to cross check whether both are having the valid data or not according to our requirement. If they are not according to our requirement, definitely we are going to produce the return false. That will indirectly yield to not submitting data. For example, if it is Jaya, so try to observe, this is not S name, but there we mention it as S name, but it should not be S name. So what you have to do is you have to validate the phone ID number. So that's why, see, myself is confusing. It should be SID, but there we have given name as S name, or else I will go with the SID. Here I will update. So maybe somewhere if you are trying to work with the ID, then you will get an error. So I'm trying to work with the ID as SID. Now I made is SID. Now I have to avoid this and I have to write the regular expression for this one. See, you can able to overcome all this redundant code with the help of your logics. So this is SID, and if I'm trying to enter S1 80535, so on, so password as S1 80535, if I'm clicking login, you should not allow, but it is allowing. If I am going for lvalidate, so the thing is, what is the function name? lvalidate. lvalidate in ml home.php it is redirecting. ml home.php it is redirecting, and it is saying as invalid student ID, I think so. So what I will do is I will try to make it as I will copy this entire thing. I will try to modify here to make it your understandability. I will make it as remove all this data. See, you need to cope up with this data modifications because it's not a small project. Invalid student data. Invalid student data, and here also I need to make it the use of something like that. So what I would like to is I will go for copy this one and I will paste everything here in place of this data, so that you won't get any kind of a problem further. ml style tag, and I'm going to, okay, I will remove this. That's good. And I will add this also. So I will remove the font tag because it is not necessary for us. Okay, in ml. Okay, now if I refresh it, now you'll get certain output, that is invalid student data. and also you are not getting any mf.php, so I'll make it use this mf.php also to get the footer part, and here also I will use the include mf.php to get the footer part. Yes, it is showing that invalid student data. Why it is showing invalid student data? That should not be redirected. So we made it as S180, but we should have to avoid that. We have to avoid that, right? Uh, so when the user is submitting the registration form on submit, you have to make it L validate. The thing is, you have to connect it to the jk.js first thing. Yes, we have connected it to the jk.js also. So we make sure that this should be there. That's okay. That's why I think why so why it is getting like that. Yes, okay, fine. That's good thing. So I would like to check the validations part. If I'm going to give Jaya and the password as Jaya, it has to show error, but it is not showing the error. That is my question here. Why? Function validate is there. That is closing clearly. And okay, I will go through this here. F12. If I press F12 in the console part, there are 6 errors are there. Indicate whether to send a cookie in a cross-site request by specifying. Okay, it is getting with the cookies concept. Okay, there is no problem with that. Hmm. Method as submit return. Let me check how it is happening. Return L validate. See, we made it in the form only. L validate and mf.php, and I am going to close the form. And so first let us check whether it is connected or not. So I will check for whether it is coming to this block or not. Let me check alert of coming or request. I'll check for the purpose of cross checking coming request. If I am going to refresh it, so let me go for the uh, full catch request. I'll try to enter some data. I will try to enter some data. I will click on login. Yes, request is coming. Request is coming. Okay, request is coming, and it is going to be avoiding all this data. So I think probably SID is there. See, this is SID. That is a where mistake we did. This is SID, and this should be password. This should be password. Okay. So made mistake at the login part. Now it will work. If I refresh it, now if I press enter Jaya and if I press something like this, it is going to stop that request. Now if I enter S180, so I'll go for refresh once again. S180536 and some blah blah password, that should be not submitted because it should avoid that thing. If it starts with N180536, yes. Uh, if I refresh N180536 valid, if I enter less than 5 characters, that should be valid, invalid. If I go for some more data, it should be valid, but the database should be wrong. Yes, that's why please enter correct username or password. Try again. Now I will enter N180536. What's the password for 536? Is there any user? Yes. Password is also N180536. Click login. That's good thing. That's wide for me actually. Huh. So this is the way you can able to validate for the login page. Similarly for forgot page also you have to validate. mforget.php, where first thing you need to modify it as SIDM, because users are confusing. So this should be SID, and this also should be taken as SID, and this should be S4, this should be new password. And whenever user clicks on the things of forget password page, that should be rated to fvalidate. So what I will do is I will try to copy this function, and f here this should be fvalidate function, and I required I think SID is required, S password, S phone number, all are required. So I will copy this all the things and I will paste here. So that is SID, and phone number field is not required for us, and S password is getting. So that is S password. So let me take rename is N password. See, okay, we are trying to work with that name, right? Yes, no problem here. This should be N password, and this should be S phone number, and this should be N password. This should be S phone number. Now to cross check whether the ID number is following the rules or not, then I can go for copy this and I will paste here. Yes, that's good thing. And for password, we can copy the same part. So this should be N password. This should be N password greater than 8. And phone number validation, you can copy that data. So make sure that you have to avoid all this redundant code. Yes. So I think that's a good thing. S phone, that should check with S phone. Yes, S phone. Now we check in for registration. Now if I'm going to enter as something like Jaya and password as, okay, I need to go for the forgot page. Jaya. See, if I'm not entering anything and I'm trying to click submit, yes, it is showing something else. If I'm trying to enter as Jaya and phone number as so and so, like that, it first only it is showing to error. Okay, so you can able to cross check that. This is the way you can able to add the validations for all the web pages. I think we completed JavaScript validations to all the web pages. Now update the pages with the names M. Right, so you can observe there are any pages with the names M. No, we complete already everything we completed. And then change acceptance of input ma page.php. Guys, if you observe here, in the previous session we added ma page.php, right? Yes. In the ma page.php, if I am trying to select a file, choose file, and if I am trying to select a PDF document, like that can be anything, void additional responsibility as CTS. If I submit, will it going to be submitted or not? Yes, it is going to be submitted, but user is trying to submit the documents or the images. User need to be accept only the images part, not the what we call the documents. So we have to avoid this one, right? So where we can do that, we can do that in the HTML part itself. So if you go for ma page.php, where is that ma page.php, here itself we can restrict. I think it is a upload. Yes. So here, whenever you are trying to upload the data, I can able to accept it. That accept should be as compulsory followed by image. Now, if I refresh it, now cancel. I am going to make it refresh. Now what I will do is I will go for the corresponding images folder. So as that is accepting, I am going to delete this. Now if I am going to delete and if I am going to refresh it, that will avoid will be overcome. Now if I am going to choose file, see, observe, in the previous it has shown all the documents also. Now the documents are avoiding, only you will get only PDF documents. If I am trying to enter some data, it's going to be accepted. If I submit, that data will be submitted. So this is the way you can able to avoid the acceptance of the remaining data other than the images. Similarly, the other thing is login forgot name as SID. See, that thing I think we have already covered. If I am trying to access mlogin.php, to avoid the confusion, I said it is SID in place of sname, and to avoid the confusion for, so this also modified SID. Yes, this is also completed. Okay, so with this we completed all the basic things which are necessary for us for more look and feel with good acceptance of inputs from the user point. So that's the reason I made this one. Okay, fine. So this is for today's session. In the next session we'll continue with the uh, next features. Okay, thank you.